Hope everyone's doing well. Blake Phillips, aka Little Regret 265 here, and today I'll just be having a quick chat about everything contained inside the new Gran Turismo 7 trailer that premiered as part of the PlayStation 5 reveal event on June 11th. Let's get right into it and visually break down everything we can put our eyes on. And as always with this kind of thing, this was provided from Sony officially, but the game is still a work in progress and anything can change in lead up to the game's launch. Keep that in mind going forward and let's get into it. For those who haven't seen the trailer yet, I will link the original uninterrupted video in the description below, but for those who just want the quick and dirty of it, Gran Turismo is back. Beautifully lit models roar by the camera in some of the new forest locales. We see BAC Monos, the RX Vision, Porsche 917, Carreras, Lamborghinis, and plenty more, which I'll cover in a bit. It stands by the same theatrical presentation seen in GT Sport, set to more intense techno music, and we see the working title of GT7. After that, they actually show us a working demo of the menu, presumably in GT mode, as we see a menu design much like the older map layouts of PS1 and PS2 eras. The garage menu looks similar to GT Sport with a customization more like the old games as well, albeit with some menu guides that resemble early campaign and GT6. That race menu design somewhat remembers the older games with a more World League oriented focus, organizing the different race leagues based on what's available per track. From there, we get to watch a race on the returning Trial Mountain course, with the driver in what I presume to be the Mazda RX Vision GT car. They're pitted against other racing cars. You see another Mazda, an Aston Martin DBR9, and a Porsche 917 all sharing the track. The lighting knowledge that Polyphony Digital developed in GT Sport does wonders here, as you can see it playing about the cars and shining out the other end of the tunnel as they emerge, really bringing about a majestic feeling. All in all though, I must admit it looks really similar to GT Sport, from the HUD, to the lighting, to the car's behavior. You take a quick look at some of the cars featured in the trailer. Some of them are series staples, some are fresh faces, and they all look gorgeous here. In the Group 3 class in GT Sport, we see some returns such as the Corvette and Subaru WRX Group 3, and I also know the 911 RSR in one shot as well. We also see some older racing machinery by way of the aforementioned Porsche 917, the Aston Martin DB3S, and the Corvette Stingray race car. Some high-performance stallions of yesteryear enter the fray by way of the Porsche Carrera GT and the Lamborghini Murcielago, and a few more road cars that come back to the series such as the Viper. As far as tracks go, there are a couple in the trailer that I can't visually identify right away, but in the menus we see Daytona, Willow Springs, Blue Moon Bay, Northern Isle, and of course Trial Mountain, just in the section dedicated to American tracks. I should also add that the proportions of Trial Mountain have been adjusted to work better with the game and its cars. It's not quite the same as the games of old, but it's a far cry from not having it at all. So it would appear they're aiming to bring in more tracks that have featured in the games before while bringing them up to modern standards. What worries me though is that we might not see any new circuits introduced. While some aren't too worried about that, I saw a lot of promising design in GTS, and hopefully we can see more of that ambition return for GT7. Now the part I'm most excited to dig into is the features. We can see in the trailer here what I believe to be a return of dynamic weather, which has been a hugely useful feature for the more hardcore GT gamers and should spice up some of the races in both GT mode and online. The return of the old school world map design hopefully should signal a larger campaign element, though that's purely speculative on my part. It seems like there's plenty of options in view of the game trailer, and hopefully there will be more sprawling about when the game launches. We can also note the return of the used car dealer, the tuning shop, driving school, GT Auto, and something called the GT Cafe. We'll hopefully learn more on that in the future. The performance point system is also briefly shown in the menus, so we'll see how that works out. I'm glad to see it again for nostalgic reasons, but at the same time I never truly missed it outside of campaign, since we received BOP in its place. Hopefully that doesn't go away either. Since the tuning shop is back, you can bet that there are going to be specific tuning items that can be equipped to your car, and it should prove to give players more agency in setting up their car to dominate events, while also helping to showcase the impact of particular parts on one's car. It also seems like there is a guide system in place here to help you along with the tuning on your vehicle, noting the impact and utility of certain items that you can install if you want. The GT World thing is kind of the last thing I can see, and while it's not a lot to look at, I can only hope that it follows a main progression that's similar to GT2, but more streamlined perhaps, with plenty of side quests and car-specific races that add to the car PG elements. We can already see that special events have their own section in the world map, so I'm hopeful about that. None of this is promised though, and I have to admit I wish the series was laid out according to event type first and given a selection of tracks within that event. Doing it according to track seems a bit unnecessary to me personally. I'm excited to see where the path of GT goes from here. What options are out there for the esports guys, the fun-loving racers, the sim junkies, and the casuals? Only time will tell. As a longtime GT guy, I can't see myself not buying this title, but a couple of final thoughts that are very much my own opinion and a little bit wishlisty as well. I'm hopeful that with all the similarities we see compared to GT Sport, that this title will be capable of running on PS4 with some strong enhancements for the PS5 experience. I also don't necessarily expect this to come out of the gate as a launch title. I'd love to be wrong, but again, only time will tell. Until that time, thanks so much for stopping by, and let me know your thoughts on the upcoming title in the comments. Check me out on Twitch and social media platforms at LittleRegret265. Make sure to check out some of my other videos and content, and if you like it and want to see more, make sure to subscribe and ring my bell. Stay safe, rant mode over, and bye for now.